Today we will be seeing how to make a 3-axis robotic arm. So this is going to be a virtual robotic arm for today. And later, when the workshop is over, I'll be giving you the hardware specifications so that you can buy the hardware after the lockdown is over and build your own hardware robot, physical prototype, and then you can enjoy it in reality. So whatever we are going to do today is going to be in graphics. Okay. So my name is V.S. Rajshekhar. I am a project assistant at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So the download link for today is this. So I hope everyone has downloaded the file. I am posting it in the comment section. So if you haven't downloaded it, please download it because we will be using this file for today. I'm going to go to the website that link and teach you how to download the file. So once you click the link, it will be going. So here there is a download option. So you need to click this download option and it will ask for whether you need to download. So is everyone able to download it? So if you have downloaded it, please bring the zip file to your desktop. So it will be easy to access. And please extract the zip file. So I have already extracted the file. So if you don't know how to extract, you can right click it. There will be an option to extract here and it will extract. Okay. Have you all done till here? Can I proceed? So, okay, one person is saying no, Sabrira is saying no, sir. And most of them are saying yes. So what is the problem, Sabrira? Ashwin Sundar is saying no. Audience, please, participants, please mute your audio. Okay, someone, Dr. V. Muthukumar is saying that if we download a Blender, it is not working. So it is not a problem. We won't be doing much in Blender. We will be just trying to change the color. That is not a problem. I have already sent the files in the download. If you have downloaded this Day 2 robotic arm, that is more than enough. Have you downloaded it, sir? Okay, fine. That is not a problem, Dr. V. Muthukumar. Okay, I think I can proceed with the next slide. So coming to manipulators. Manipulators are a part of robotics. Robotics is a very vast field. So there are mobile robots and the static robots. So today we will be dealing with only static robots. That is, the base will be fixed to the ground. So you can see the ground over here to which the base is fixed. So this is called as a serial manipulator, and this is called as a parallel manipulator. In serial manipulator, the links will be connected in series, and in parallel manipulator, there will be lot of links connected in parallel. In between the links, there will be lot of joints. There will be lot of joints which are like revolute joints, which we can find it in the door. What a door of our house and windows have revolute joint. So they'll be fixed to the ground and they'll be able to move. So here, for example, a person who is playing table tennis will be using a single hand. So by using single hand, we'll be using less number of degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom means from one hand, a number of joints and links. It is calculated using that, which I'll be talking later. And we'll be using less number of force to hit the ball. So when compared to the scenario in cricket and table and lawn tennis. So this is an example for serial manipulator, which is shown here. This is a serial manipulator, and this human hand is similar to the serial manipulator. So this is a Sachin batting, which many of you would like to see. This is an example of parallel arm. So if two hands are together, are used to hold the bat. So only then there will be lot of force and torque acting on the bat to hit the ball. Only then the ball will be hit to a very large distance. If you're going to see in the table tennis, the ball should be hit only to the opponent who is very nearby. But in cricket, the ball has to be hit to a very long distance, which will be done only when lot of force is applied. When you need to apply a lot of force, then you need a lot of links, joints, and a parallel arm is required. So since he is using two arms, that is both the hands to play, so it is called as a parallel manipulator. It is an example which is inspired by which a parallel manipulator is created. So this is a parallel manipulator. You can see a link, a hand over here, a hand over here, and many other hands can also join to do a task. At the end of the manipulator, there will be a gripper to hold the object of interest. That is called as an end effector. So that end effector is called as a gripper. So the end effector will hold the part and it will move to another place. So once it moves to another place, and it can place the object. So examples of parallel manipulators and serial manipulators will be seen now. So this is an example of a serial manipulator. So this is a human arm and joint 1, joint 2, and joint 3. This is a 3-axis serial arm with an end effector. The base will rotate along this axis. The joint 2 will rotate along this axis, and joint 3 will rotate along this axis. So this is what we are going to simulate today using the processing software. And this is the example which is inspired by nature. That is our human arm. This is what is serial manipulator. Parallel manipulator is left to the audience to explore. Since it is complex and the time constraint is there, we are not going to explore parallel manipulators in this workshop. A best example for parallel manipulator is our human leg. So if you can see the human leg, it is supported by two stick kind of structures, so which has a lot of joints in between. So if you're going to see a parallel manipulator, it is also in a similar way. But if 6 degrees of freedom is needed, so there are 6 linkages which are being used. can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is a Steward platform where 6 degrees of freedom is achieved. So this is Fanuc's serial robotic arm at Audi car manufacturing plant. So this is an Audi car manufacturing plant, and you're going to see how a serial manipulator is being used in the industry. This is of course a programmed serial manipulator, and it is going to be used for various pick and place application. You can see it going to pick up the engine parts. It is picking up the part using the end effector. So it is placing the parts of the car. So Fanuc is a world leading company which manufactures serial manipulators. So there are multiple serial manipulators which are in the assembly line, which does various operations. This is spot welding. This is for inspection. And finally, the car is coming out of the plant. And next, we are going to see an example of a parallel manipulator. In this example, there will be a lot of pills, that is tablets, which will be of different colors, and it will be on the table. Here you can see a Delta style robo, which is going to pick up 3 different color pills. So it is taking up the yellow color pills and it is dropping on the plate. And it's taking up the white color and pills and putting it on the plate. And now it uses a camera to locate the pills. And then it will sort out which pills are in which position, and it will put it inside the box. It is sorting using color-based computer vision. So here is a closer view of it. So yellow color pills are being put on the plate. Now it takes a photograph of and locates the pill, and you can see it moving very fast. So now a serial manipulator and a parallel manipulator will be together used to pick up and place batteries in a battery manufacturing plant. So they can, in assembly line, a parallel manipulator and a serial manipulator can together be used. So you can see a screen on the top where the computer captures that image of the batteries and gives the location to the robo, and then it picks up the batteries accordingly and arranges it. So this is a very difficult task which is being accomplished. So this is a view from the robo. The batteries are being placed and the serial robot is being used to take it and keep it on the another conveyor. This is how batteries are packed together. Okay, so for this is as far as this is this is for the theory part of today. And Gautam Rao is asking, sir, even JCB is an example of it, right? JCB is a vehicle, but this is a robo. JCB cannot be programmed; it has to be manually done. But this robo can be programmed, and it can be doing task repetitively. That is the difference between JCB crane and this robo. Yeah, Gautam Rao is asking, airplane simulators have parallel manipulators. Yes, airplane simulators have parallel manipulators. Shiva Prakash is asking CNC machine. So if you have any doubts, you can post now for the theory session. In 2 or 3 minutes from now, we'll move on to the hands-on session. That is, I'll be explaining you the program for today, and we'll move on to run the program and see. Yeah, the same task can be repeated, Janagaran. CNC machine, it is a machine, but it is not intelligent, Shiva Prakash. It is CNC machines are used to do repetitive tasks, but it is not intelligent. Cartesian robot working principle, Professor Milesamy. So Cartesian robot, it moves on X, Y, and Z. It uses prismatic joints. That is, it moves on X, Y, and Z plane, like a printer, which is like in a print which is available in our home, and it will be has three motors which will move on the X, Y, and the Z direction. Shiva Prakash is asking to send the record PPT. Yeah, we'll be sending it. So, any more doubts? Can I move to explain the program? Airplanes. Shreyas is asking, are airplane simulators serial or parallel manipulators? They are parallel manipulators. Okay, I think I can move on to the hands-on session. So what I have, please don't do anything now for the hands-on session. Please observe for the next 10 minutes what the code is about. I'll be giving you a brief overview of what the code is about, and only then you can be able to do what is intended to do for today. So once you open this day 2 robotic arm file, there will be two things. Data robotic arm.pde, that is the processing file which you need to open, but don't open it now. And there is another file called as data. Whenever you work on processing, please remember this. Whenever you work on processing software, Ranjit Kumar, 6-axis robot is what I showed you right now. And we'll have the doubt session after the last 10 minutes. So now we can move on to the hands-on session. Yeah, this manipulators these manipulators run with the help of the hydraulics? Yeah, some of the manipulators run using hydraulics if the load to be lifted is very high. Now I'm going to the hands-on session. Those will clarify in the last 10 minutes. So there are two files, one folder and one file. This PDE should be opened when the hands-on session starts. There's another folder called as data. This data folder is where you have to place the CAD model which you create using the Blender software, and you have to, if in tomorrow's workshop, you have to place the sound audio file inside this software, inside this data folder. So whatever data is going to be read by the processing program has to be put inside this data folder. So inside this data thing, you can see arm.obj. Yesterday I told you we'll be saving it arm.obj. Once you start saving it in arm.obj, automatically a file called arm.mtl will be created. So there are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Four things which we'll be using today. The arm is the end effector. The base is the base portion of the robo. The body is the body portion, and the shoulder is the shoulder cylinder is the shoulder portion of the robo. So I'll move on to the program. So when you are going to open, you have to go to, you will get the screen once you click on the processing icon. So kindly don't do anything now. You just listen to what is being done. You can note it down. Please go to File and click on Open. So in Open, there will be folders. You have to go to Desktop. And in Desktop, you have to click on Day 2, Robotic Arm. And in Files, you will find Day 2, Robotic Arm.pde and click OK. So this will open. So what other lines are commented, please leave it commented, because these commented lines have to be removed only when your hardware is ready with you. So the first line says import control P5. This is the library which we are going to use for today. And this float, rotate X, rotate Y, translate X, translate Y, or the rotation about X, Y, translation about X and Y, and the scale factor. If we need to use an offset value, you can use it, but we are not using it today. Then we are going to use P-shape. P-shape is the, like how you use int or float in a C program. We have to use the P-shape to declare the 3D object which is going to be imported. So we have to declare P-shape, base, body, shoulder, and arm. So control P5 is what we are going to use for the slider which are going to control the robo, and my controller is going to be used for rotating the CAD model. So control P5 is the what we have imported, and control P5 will be utilized. And we are going to initialize the base angle to be 0, and we are going to be initializing the shoulder angle to be 0 and the arm to be 0. Okay. So after that, I said yesterday that the void setup, whatever is inside void setup will be executed once, and whatever is inside void draw will be executed many times. It will be running in a loop. So whatever is inside void setup is size. So size of the screen which we are going to use will be declared inside size. Size 1000, 400 means that on the x-axis it is going to be 1000, and on the y-axis it is going to be 400. Resolution of the output screen. And the P3D means we are going to do something in 3D. So that is what we say. If you are going to do something in 2D, that is 2-dimension, we have to give P2D. Today we are going to do it in 3D. So we have given P3D. Then smooth is given to enhance the motion of the robot to be smooth, and the frame rate is given to be 30, so that the frame rate which appears on the screen would be 30 frames per second. So my controller is equal to new control P5 this is declared. So once this is declared, my controller dot add slider. So a new slider is being added. I'll run this program and I'll show you. This is the slider which is being declared there. And this is the slider which will be declared later. Okay, base, shoulder, and arm. Okay, this slider X rotation, Y rotation, and Z rotation are being declared. So these values, that is 700, 200, are the position on the screen. So X is starts at 700 and ends at extends for 200. 20 is the value of the position. You can try changing these values by changing the value over here. For example, if I'm going to change it to say 70 or more than 70, say 180, and if I'm going to give run, that x-axis will be that would have displaced by a certain value. So hence you have to be careful while declaring this thing. So since if it is 20, it will be 20 resolution points below the top of the screen. And the value 6.28 is the value over here. That is the angle in radians. That is 360° in radians is 6.28. So initial value is 0 to 6.28 is the degree. So 20, 700 is the location of the point, and 20, 200 is the location of the another point. And we'll move on to the next thing, which similarly for X, Y, and Z. For body, we have to choose. We have declared the body over here: base, body, shoulder, cylinder, and arm. So the body has to be loaded. So load shape bracket body dot obj. So once you give this body dot obj, what happens is this body dot obj will get loaded into the file. Okay, so similarly, load shape base dot obj, load shape the shoulder cylinder is equal to load shape shoulder cylinder dot obj, arm is equal to load shape arm dot obj. So all the four are getting loaded into the you want to increase the font setting. Okay, I hope now people are able to see it. One command was to increase the font size. So this is given. So if you are using Arduino, you have to declare that Arduino has to be included, but I have commented that line. And this line also can be commented, but we are not using it, but it doesn't make any effect in the program. So it can be left as it. So the 13 pins of the Arduino are being utilized. That is what it means. Then control P5 is equal to new control P5 dot this. So this creates the slider called base. So if I run this, the base is created. So that is nothing but the base. So the set position 10, 10. So 10, 10 is this point on the screen. Set size is 200, 40. So it moves 200 on the screen and 40 on the y-axis. set range 0 to 180. So here I am setting the range 0 to 180. So if I move this, the robot will move. So set color, value color, that is the value inside this, that is 0, and the value inside this is 0. So value color 0, it is on the scale between 0 to 255. If you're going to give 255, it will become white. You cannot see it as the background. So I have given 0 so that it will be black in color. So set color label is equal to 0. So this label is nothing but the base, that is also black in color. So active color is set to be 219, 217, 60. So if you want, you can select the tools and go to color selector, and you can type the value and see. 219. This is RGB, red, green, and blue. 217 and 60.
Okay. 255.
So this is the color, yellow color, which you will be seeing over here. That is the color over here. So set foreground color to be 200, 200, 200. So 200, 200, 200. So that is gray in color. So that gray color is nothing but what you see now over the other half of it. So that is the foreground color. And set background color to be 255, 255 and 0. And background color will be yellow. So this initially what you saw was the color inside. Now, but this is the color which is matching with this. So the 219, 217, and 60 is nothing but the color which is inside this. Okay. So this is the color. If you take it out, the 200, 200, 200 comes. So active color means if you're going to press your mouse on it, it becomes active. So active color is nothing but the yellow color with a gray shade. If it is foreground color is 200, 200, 200, which is nothing but the gray color, which you can see now. So background color is nothing but 255, 255, 0, which is yellow color, which you can see at the side. Okay. So similarly for the shoulder and for the arm, you can create. So float X rotation, Y rotation, and Z rotation is equal to 0. We are saying that the X rotation, that is, one second, this is the X rotation, Y rotation, Z rotation to be 0 initially. And once if you move this, the CAD model rotates. The robot is not rotating, but the entire CAD model of the robot rotates. But if you are going to rotate this, the joint of it rotates. The joint of the robot rotates. The shoulder and the arm of it rotates. So inside void row, whatever you write will be repeated continuously. So lights is very important, because if you are going to take out the lights, it is going to be dark. So lights you can declare, and the background color to be 255, 253, 250. So audience, please mute your mic. Color is set to be 255, 255, 255, and the push matrix, which means that from here till pop matrix, the value will be taken to be a single thing in series. That is what it means. Push matrix means the value from here till the next thing, pop matrix, will be calculated, and only then it will be showing on the screen. It won't be showing as and when it is getting executed. So translate 450 comma 300 means that it is translating the robo by 450 on the x-axis and 300 on the y-axis. So 450 on the x-axis and 300 on the y-axis. So if you want to take the robo a little further on this side, you have to change the x-axis. So you can say 550, and if you're going to run it, the robo would have moved a little. Or to make a more visibility, I can take it to 700 also. So the robo has moved to this point, but it will be interesting only when if it is here. So this translate option gives you the opportunity to translate along x and y axis. So the rotate x rotation, y rotation, and z rotation starts over here, and then it goes into the function called as draw base fixed. So this function gets executed after the x, y, and z rotation are being done. So once this draw base fixed is done, executed, it comes into the void draw base executed. So what happens is, I'll repeat the thing again, the program. I'll complete this before that. So what happens is, the void link base, inside the void link base, it calls the void link base. The void base fixed, if it goes inside that, it calls void link base. You can put this inside that also, but I have written for clarity so that it will call the base function. So inside the base function, the similar push matrix and pop matrix is there, and it translates for 0, 0, 0. No translation happens here, and it is scaling down the CAD model to 0.12. That is, the CAD model is very big and it cannot appear on the screen. For example, if I'm going to change it to 0.24, and if I'm going to click run, you can see it to be very big. The base becomes very big. So which is not good to see. So I'm changing it to 0.12. This has to be done by trial and error, or you have to have a good modeling skill to make this CAD model properly. Or you can make the entire model and scale it down to a proper thing. So once the base shape will be called, so then y radian, rotate y, radians base. So what happens here is the base, what you give here, the slider base value. So the shape value, if you're giving 18 degree or 180 degree, that base value is transferred to the base over here. That is to the program. In this base, that base value comes over here, or from the top to here. So it rotates along the y in the base, for the base. Similarly, for better visualization, I have subtracted the 90 degrees from, this is in radians actually. So I have subtracted 90 degrees from the shoulder, so that it will have a good initial point. So what happens is the shoulder cylinder is going to rotate about the z-axis. What happens is the shoulder cylinder is going to rotate about the z-axis. So it is rotating about the z-axis once the z thing is given, shoulder thing is given. It is passed to this value. So next is the CAD model is brought inside and it is translated to 0, 825, 200. And this is a local frame. And what happens is it rotates the arm in the negative angle. So what happens is this arm rotates in the positive direction. Well, when positive value is going, it rotates in the clockwise direction. When negative value, that is in the, goes in the backward direction, it goes in the backward direction. So this is the program. So with this, we are ending the program for the explanation for the first time. So if you have any doubts with the program, you can post in the comments, or else we can move on and check the same program on your computer. And if you have any problems, you can post it. First, you can post any doubts if you have related to the program. Okay, Dr. V. Muthukumar is asking to repeat the first step alone. I'm not sure what he means by the first step. Dr. V. Muthukumar, can you please elaborate what is meant by the first step? Okay, how to get this coding to processing, Dr. V. Muthukumar? And why did you subtract 90 degree from the shoulder, Sandeep Kumar? Shiva Prakash is saying like it's like C++. Yeah, but it is Java. Gopal is saying in program part rotate X and rotate function, rotate Y function. Can you explain once? Yeah, I'll complete these three. Yeah. The rotate function is being utilized over here. So what happens is you're rotating the CAD model. Here the robo is not rotating, but the CAD model of the robot is being rotated. So you can rotate and see how the robo looks. So this is the Z rotation. So second question, which was about the why I separated 90 degrees. So what happens is, once you create a CAD model in Blender, you have to create it in a proper way. So if you have created it in a proper way, that is, if you have created the cylinder to be in a proper axis, then we need not separate anything in the program. So since I haven't created in the, I have displaced the shoulder cylinder by 90 degree in the Blender thing, it has been, we have to separate 90 degrees from the shoulder. I hope I have answered you, Sandeep Kumar. Okay, these questions I'll answer at the last regarding the programming robotics. So default Harita, the CAD cylinder CAD model has been given to you. It is already in the program. So Gopal, he said, I have sent the coding to you, sir, Dr. V. Muthukumar. So yeah, that is available over here. The code is available over here. You can click on, go to this website, and you can press download over here. So I think the audience can go to this, open this thing and go to open. Yeah, okay. So what you have to do, Dr. V. Muthukumar, is that you have to go to file, press open, and you have to go to your desktop, and there you will be having your day 2 robotic arm. You have to open it, and then you have to open this and click OK. Janakaran is asking, sir, we have to program for base and cylinder or built-in? So I have built the base and cylinder for now. In future, you can build it using the Blender software. You will see this screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Gautam Rao, I hope you're happy that the RoboArm is working. Nickel, yes, you can make the RoboArm to rotate 360 degrees for better motion. So if you want to make it rotate for 360 degrees, what you have to do is you have to set range to 360. That is what I think. We'll try and see now.
Yes. So Siva Prakash has got one more question.
Yeah, you can change. Yeah, Nickel, I hope your answer is solved. It is rotating for 360 degree. You just need to go to this base part of it and change set range from 0 to 180 to 0 to 360.
Yes, sir. Siva Prakash, you can clarify your doubt. Is it audible?
Nickel, I'll repeat to you. Please wait for a minute. Yes, Siva Prakash, you can go ahead with your question.
I think he's not ready. One more person. Shall I?
Yeah.
Rashekha sir? Yeah. Magiran Venkatesh. So,
Sir,
Magadan, you can raise your question.
sir, my screen is displaying that the buffer objects are not supported. What can I do, sir?
Did you install the control P5 library?
Yes, sir.
Which version of Windows are you using?
Ultimate, sir.
Okay, can you come again?
Means Ultimate, sir. Windows 7 Ultimate.
Windows 7 Ultimate, I'm not sure what will be the problem because I've tested on Windows 7 normal thing. But do you have any other laptop with you by any chance?
Sir, I'm having Home Premium, sir. That is another version of Windows 7.
Okay, can you test on that by if possible?
Sir, I can do that after the class only, sir.
Okay, I think Windows 7 64-bit it is working fine. That is what I got feedback. I'm not sure about the thing.
Okay, sir. If I'm having any doubt, can I post it through mail, sir?
Yeah, sure, definitely no. You can.
Okay, sir. I will try in my laptop, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you can proceed.
Yeah, Nikhil, you were asking. And set range for ARM also to 360. Be notified. So if you have any error in the program, you can refer to the internet for that. And I'm missing a lot of questions. That is what I feel. Dr. V. Muthukumar, the video will be sent to you. I think you can look into the video because the time is very short. Only 5 more minutes is there. I hope the video will solve the problem to you. The explanation in the video. Prakash, what is your doubt? And Priyanka, what it is saying? Why are you not able to view the output? And people who are saying you are not able to view the output, what it is saying if you are running the program in the status bar? I think Harita, please copy the error and put it on Google and see. That is the best way to solve the problem. Whatever arises, that is the best way to learn. Whatever error you get, all the problems are already solved. Most of your problems regarding to the version, all the problems are solved and they are all put on the internet. And coming to I don't know why it is gray in color. Uh, Christopher, what is float? Float is nothing but a number with a decimal value. And processing, Gopal is asking, processing how to embed this code in Arduino. So in Arduino, you have to, I'll open Arduino. And Krishna Kumar, I'll answer to your query, how to start learning robotics. Go to Arduino and you can go to sketchbook, sorry, examples, Fermenta, and standard Fermenta. Please note it down. Arduino, examples, Fermenta, and standard Fermenta. So what you have to do is you have to open this standard Fermenta and then upload this code in your Arduino board, and then you have to come back to processing and you need to uncomment all the commented lines. So Arduino, whatever is commented has to be uncommented, and you have to connect the servo motor to pins number 8, 9, and 10 of the Arduino board. I hope you have knowledge about Arduino, and then you'll be able to run the robo in reality. I hope I have answered the question of Professor Mayil Swami also. So this video which I had shared in the group yesterday, I'll be playing it again. So I'm pausing the sharing for a minute. So now the same robo has been made in reality, and you can actually build this prototype using micro servos, and then you can actually try to control it, and the real prototype will also be able to open. Gopal is asking, processing software we can embed program into Arduino board. No. Processing runs only on the computer. So a computer has to be connected to the Arduino always through the UART cable. So once you run it on the computer will send the signal to the Arduino, and then the Arduino will act accordingly. If you move the slider over here, the value will be sent to the Arduino. So Professor Mileswamy is asking, Arduino pins should the PWM pins or any digital pins? Only the PWM pins should be used. That is so Malach till date to then it will open this thing. Rajshekharan has asked how to convert it into a